Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the dark and twisted minds of the most shocking serial killers in Pakistan's history. Viewer discretion is advised. We're going to peel back the layers of their lives, examine their crimes, and try to understand the why. What drove them to commit such horrific acts? Was it nature, nurture, or something else entirely? This is a journey into the abyss of human cruelty, a glimpse into the darkest corners of the human psyche. Let's begin. He was cunning, ruthless, and left a trail of terror in his wake. Javed Iqbal was the embodiment of our deepest fears, that evil can hide in plain sight. Born in Lahore, Iqbal's life was marked by early signs of deviance, but it was in the 1990s that his true darkness emerged. Iqbal's modus operandi often involved luring young boys with promises of money or gifts. His crimes, brutal and calculated, shocked the nation. From Lahore to other parts of Punjab, a trail of missing boys and gruesome discoveries followed Iqbal. He would often revisit his victims, further deepening the horror of his crimes. Despite overwhelming evidence, including eyewitness accounts and physical evidence, Iqbal maintained his innocence for years. He represented himself in court, his intelligence and cunning on full display, further captivating a public both horrified and strangely fascinated by him. Iqbal's case, and his eventual confessions on death row, offered a chilling glimpse into the mind of a predator. He spoke of his compulsions, his need for control, and the escalating violence that marked his crimes. The case of Javed Iqbal forever changed the landscape of criminal profiling in Pakistan. It forced law enforcement and the public alike to confront the reality that monsters don't always lurk in the shadows. Sometimes they hide in plain sight. But perhaps the most unsettling question remains. What combination of factors, both internal and external, could create a monster like Javed Iqbal? Javed Iqbal's crimes were so horrific, so depraved that they defied comprehension. His house became a macabre testament to his dark desires. Iqbal's victims were almost exclusively young boys, often lured from marginalized communities. He would drug them, torture them, and ultimately kill them, preserving their bodies in a twisted attempt to keep a semblance of them near. His methods were methodical, chillingly so. Iqbal would experiment with his victims, attempting crude procedures in a desperate and disturbing attempt to create living zombies who would be subservient to his will. The discovery of Iqbal's crimes sent shockwaves through Lahore and beyond. The sheer horror of what unfolded in his house left an indelible scar on the city's psyche. Iqbal's trial was a media spectacle. The world watched in horror as the details of his crimes were revealed. He was ultimately found guilty and sentenced to death. But the questions lingered. How could someone commit such atrocities? What drove Iqbal to such depths of depravity? Experts pointed to a confluence of factors: a troubled childhood, a fascination with death, and a deep-seated loneliness that manifested in the most horrific ways imaginable. Javed Iqbal's case stands as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can reside within seemingly ordinary individuals. It is a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the monstrous potential that lies dormant within us all. Chapter 4: Shadows in the Streets, Pakistani Serial Killers. Javed Iqbal was a man who instilled fear across Pakistan. To his neighbors in Lahore, he was a quiet businessman, blending into the community. But beneath the surface lurked a horrifying reality. Iqbal's crimes were as shocking as they were numerous. He would lure young boys to his home, often with the promise of shelter or money, where he would overpower, torture, and ultimately murder them. He confessed to killing 100 boys and disposing of their bodies in acid, a chilling testament to the darkness he concealed beneath a facade of normalcy. Iqbal's trial was a media sensation. The nation watched in horror as the extent of his crimes was revealed. He was convicted of 100 murders and sentenced to death. Psychological evaluations of Iqbal painted a picture of a deeply disturbed individual. He was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder and found to be a cunning manipulator who lacked empathy and remorse. One of the most chilling aspects of Iqbal's case was his ability to compartmentalize. He lived a double life, seamlessly transitioning between the role of a quiet businessman and a sadistic killer. Javed Iqbal's case remains a haunting reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable reality that monsters don't always fit a specific profile. Sometimes they are our neighbors, our co-workers, the people we least suspect. The legacy of Javed Iqbal continues to cast a long shadow, a grim reminder of the darkness that can fester beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives. Chapter 5. The Monsters of Pakistan. Javed Iqbal. Javed Iqbal was a name that struck fear into the hearts of many, a symbol of unimaginable horror and cruelty. His story, one of manipulation, brutality, and a chilling lack of remorse, shocked the nation to its core. Iqbal's victims were young boys, many of whom were street children or runaways in Lahore. He lured them with promises of food and shelter, only to subject them to horrific abuse and murder. His crimes, often involving strangulation and dismemberment, were methodical and gruesome. He would dispose of their bodies in acid, leaving no trace behind, a calculated attempt to erase his heinous acts. The media frenzy surrounding Iqbal was intense. His story, a terrifying blend of predator and psychopath, left the public grappling with the depths of human depravity. Iqbal's trial was a media spectacle, his life and crimes dissected and debated in the court of public opinion. He was convicted of the murders of over 100 boys and sentenced to death. His case sparked a national conversation about child safety, the impact of societal neglect, and the dark underbelly of urban poverty. Javed Iqbal's story is a horrifying one, a descent into darkness fueled by a twisted mind and a broken society. It is a stark reminder of the human cost of societal neglect and the devastating consequences of unaddressed trauma. His legacy remains a chilling testament to the depths of human evil, a cautionary tale about the intersection of vulnerability, cruelty, and the desperate search for power in a world that had failed its most innocent. Chapter 5. The Butcher of Lahore, Javed Iqbal. Javed Iqbal, known as the Butcher of Lahore, horrified Pakistan in the late 1990s. His crimes, a series of brutal murders, left the nation in shock. Iqbal's methods were calculated and gruesome. He lured young boys to his home where he committed his heinous acts. His crimes were marked by extreme violence and cruelty. He often taunted the police with letters detailing his crimes. The calculated nature of his attacks created widespread fear. Families were terrified for the safety of their children. Law enforcement worked relentlessly to catch him. His ability to evade capture added to the panic. However, Iqbal's reign of terror would eventually end. His image was plastered across newspapers and TV screens. The public was enlisted in the manhunt. Iqbal was eventually apprehended by the authorities. He was taken into custody, ending his spree. His capture brought relief, but the trauma lingered. His case reminded us of the depths of human depravity. Outro: The Darkness Within. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more content. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.